Hello there, Egren here. Today I'd like to show you my Whispering Ice build on Warbands. The Whispering Ice is a new staff that came out with 2.0 and I've been having so much fun with it. It grants a unique skill called Ice Storm. Ice Storm is a spell that you can only gain access to by using this staff. The spell itself is similar to Firestorm and gains more flat damage and duration the more intelligence you have. On top of that, the staff, as you can see, gives you increased spell damage based on your intelligence, and it increases your intelligence by up to 18%. This means you're encouraged to stack loads of intelligence, and therefore gives you a lot of energy shield. So it's natural to make it either a life and energy shield hybrid build, or use Chaos Inoculation and go pure energy shield. I decided to go with the latter, simply because it's been almost 2 years since I made a CI character. I'll take it for a spin in a gorge map, and afterwards I'll show you my gear and skill tree. And I had it prepared, and it's basically a white one, so this will be similar to the gorge runs that have been popular on the forums, except it's 76 now instead of a 74. But yeah.
Just need a moment to catch my breath.
As you can see, stuff dies fairly quickly. There is a delay on the damage though, so there is some there's a skill involved in like moving on at the right time, and I'm still not that good at it, especially in these maps. I usually run slightly lower maps, but yeah, stuff dies definitely at a satisfying rate, especially since it's fairly early into the league. Oh, I got low on ES there. go. And that's a gorge run with my Whispering Ice build. So let's go through the gear and the skill tree. I'll start with the skill tree because I mean it can feel like fairly straightforward simply because just stack loads of intelligence. But there's several things that you know that actually aren't that obvious and things that some people might prefer and other people might prefer different things. So yeah, let me just go through what I have at the moment, but I'm definitely not like convinced that this is the best way to do it. I started off as a shadow. I would probably make it a scion if I did it again, but I'd already made a scion this league and I'm trying to get 3 characters to 82. So I decided to go shadow. You can go witch too, of course. Templar's fine too. About the same start as shadow. I did go cast speed instead of elemental damage because you get so much increased damage already from the weapon, which I didn't consider these in the beginning, so that's why I thought shadow instead of witch, because witch only gets 3% cast speed instead of 4. Anyways, the more interesting choices. First of all, I yeah, just get the energy shield nodes that are available. Of course, Ghost Reaver and Chaos Inoculation if you want to go CI. And just all the good nodes in the Witch Tree. AoE, more ES, a tiny bit of damage here. And I went through these nodes. Stun avoidance while casting. I'm going to take Nimbleness as well, which will net us 55 plus 15, so that's 70% chance to avoid stuns while casting. On top of the 50% you already get from having Energy Shield, but it's multiplicative, so these alone, together with that Nimbleness and ES, means I would be 85% immune to stuns. That is 85% of the time that I would be stunned, instead I'm not, while casting. So that's the choice I made instead of going stun immunity with, like, I have Chila. Instead I'm using an Astramentis because all those attributes are really nice. But you can definitely go out of Chila, then you don't need these. You don't need Nimbleness. And then the more interesting choice that I didn't even think about at first is doing this, going down to Ranger and taking Heart of Oak. I haven't taken it yet. I don't know if it's additive or multiplicative with these as well. Assuming it's additive, which I think it is, would mean that if I get Heart of Oak and Nimbleness, as well as these, I would be 100% stun immune while casting. Currently I'm not, but I'm also only level 86, so I got a way to go. And you could cut something else if you want it earlier, of course. And my route into Templar is non-optional. You have to get this. More AoE nodes and more damage, just so much damage. And then another jewel socket. And as you can see, I'm currently traveling into this ring. I might just remove them again and get Heart of Oak instead. But currently, I just want more damage. So that's what I'm doing. And my jewel choices, you see I have 2 large AoE rings here. One there and one over here. This one, Fertile Mind, converts all dexterity into intelligence. And that becomes a lot of intelligence. I have 1104 at the moment, taking it out below 1000. So I get a 122 intelligence from just 1 jewel. Assuming I've spec'd all this, of course, but none of this is... I mean, I might not have taken this if I didn't get the jewel, but it's definitely worth it in my opinion. And the other one here is a similar one, but it converts strength instead. Strength to intelligence. It's not as good. Removing it puts me down to that much intelligence. So I gain 63 intelligence. Definitely not as much. And a really good rare jewel would probably be much better than this. But I have really crappy jewels, so it's super cheap as well. I just paid a chaos for a perfect one. So it's a good choice. If you want to go into this ring. Otherwise, well, actually, even if you don't, you're still taking an Elementalist, so it's 3 points for almost 70 intelligence. That's still good for this build, so you'd still want it. But anyways, a rare one would be a really good rare would be better. And here I have a failed Regal because I don't have a shield, so it's just intelligence and energy shield. I think it's the same here. Yep, intelligence and energy shield. And this one is intelligence and energy shield. Uh, I would definitely want like increased cold damage or area damage or cast speed or something on there, but that'll be for later. I'm trying to work out the gear first, and well, I'm rolling jewels once, like now and then I roll some jewels, but I haven't gotten a successful regal yet, except I guess this one's semi-successful, but I'd much rather have something else than resistance. Anyways, um, what else is there? Oh yeah, Volpact. This is definitely not an obvious choice anymore. At first I thought it was, but we also have Zealot's Oath. And Volpact does not, I mean, this is not like, this build does not throw out huge hits at once. It's loads of small hits. But the changes to Leech made me want to go Volpact because it really fits well with CI because there's no drawback to it anymore because I don't regen life anyways. I only have one life, and the energy shield recharge works anyways. However, I can't go Zealot's Oath and Volpact, so I have to choose, and I'm not sure which is better. This is the biggest question, I think, for this build, is whether we want to go Volpact or Zealot's Oath. Because you have Shaper for 2 points. I actually had this before when I spec Potency of Will, but I spec'd out of it. It wasn't worth it, and then Shaper cost 2 points. If you have Zealot's Oath, Shaper's definitely worth 2 points though. Currently, I don't need the mana, so it's all right. And you have 1% regen right here, and that's it for me currently. But you can also spend 2 more points and get 1% regen here. So that would be 3% regen for almost no investment, and you could get more from the jewel socket, either more life regen or more mana. And then you could also get these AoE nodes as well. This is why I think Scion is a tiny bit better than Templar, Witch, or Shadow. But as I said, I have already made a Scion, so I decided to make another class. Yeah, I don't think there's that much else to say about the tree. Just stack loads of intelligence. What else I would be doing from here? Fill out this ring, go to Celestial Judgment, and Celestial Punishment, probably not, because it doesn't work with chilled enemies, so I'll probably just go into Celestial Judgment and maybe take these 2 nodes behind here, but probably not. And of course, Heart of Oak. And you have some jewel sockets right here and here that you could pick up later. Maybe this one, maybe this one. This one gets a bit less awkward if you go this route and pick up Zealot's Oath, since it's 1 less point. But yeah, it's there. You could maybe go Heart of Ice, but I probably wouldn't. So, no to that. Alright, so let's take a look at my gear. Of course, Whispering Ice. It's a perfect rolled one, but it's pretty easy to get a perfect rolled one. Cast speed rolls between 8 and 12, and intelligence rolls between 14 and 18. So 1 out of every 25 Whispering Ice is actually perfect. So it shouldn't be too hard to get one, or even just almost perfect. Like a friend of mine bought one missing 1% cast speed, and of course that's no big deal. But maxed intelligence is really nice, so please get that. And my gloves, I'm currently using these. They don't have any intelligence, but they have loads of resistance, and I currently need it. Especially since intelligence is a suffix, so you can't get... all of the other slots have less resistance than they otherwise would have. My helmet, it's pretty bad as well. I got it for like a chaos or 2 from a friend, but it does the job. It's definitely the gear slot I'm looking to upgrade the most at the moment. Or maybe the gloves, but that would require something else as well, which could be the helmet. And then we have the boots, also pretty bad. I got them for 2 chaos, and then just added increased energy shield on there. They're perfect for my build though. High res, could have higher movement speed of course, but they were also cheap. And this is a more interesting choice. Definitely not obvious. You don't need it at all. It's just intelligence and some ES. And the last line of text is actually pretty nice too, because currently I have 3.5k ES recharge. Taking it out, only 2.5k. So Recovering from damage takes way less time with this. But you can have a rare belt with just energy shield and resists, and then you could take out this for something else. So it's not necessary. Amulet, of course, Astramantis. Chest, just a generic one as well. I bought it for an Exalted about a week ago, but I checked again later, and I think they've gone up. But I mean, compared to the staff, it's no big deal. And of course, you can get a better one here too. Rings are awful. These rings. This one, the first line of text and the last line of text are completely worthless, but it does have the most important stats: intelligence, mana, and energy shield. I can bench percent energy shield on here, but it costs a whole Exalted, and I don't think it's worth it because the ring is so bad. Oh, that was the wrong one. There we go. I think there's room for it. Apparently not. Or do I need a higher level? I probably need a higher level Elround, but I still wouldn't do it. And the same for this one. Only intelligence and loads of resists. But that's what I need. And in the weapon swap, I'm leveling some more gems, because I fairly often swap out gems in here, depending on the map. Currently, I have the obvious choices: Hypothermia. There's no reason not to run this. They're chilled all the time, so you get 39% more damage for free, just one support. It's great. Cold Penetration, of course, you deal almost only cold damage, so penetrating that resistance is really nice. And then of course Spell Echo, because why wouldn't you? And then these choices are a little bit less obvious, but my normal setup is this. I use Conk Effect and increased AoE. I always use Life Leech, but that of course depends on if you have Volpact or not. I mean, if you're living off Zealot's Oath, you might be able to cut Life Leech for something else. But yeah, currently Concentrated Effect and increased AoE. On Weapon Swap, however, I have added Lightning and faster casting, although I don't use it at the moment. I would need better mana to do it. But I very often take out added Lightning and put it in instead of Conk Effect if I'm doing a low level map. Whoops. And then I get this huge AoE. This is how huge the AoE with only increased AoE. So nice to if I want to run Dryad Lake or something over here, then taking out Conk Effect is really nice. Or I can take out increased AoE instead and have Conk Effect and add Lightning, and the damage goes through the roof. But the AoE is much smaller. This is great for bosses, for example, but I don't always bother. Depends on how hard the boss is. But yeah, I think that's it. No, wait, I got some more. Gems to show you. This setup here is kind of obsolete at the moment, but I haven't bothered fixing it. It's a cast when stunned link, and I barely get stunned anymore. It happens once in a while. Mostly when I'm not casting, so mostly when I'm just running into a pack before I've started dealing damage. So it still triggers once in a while, but I'll probably switch it out for cast when damage taken in some point in the future. And in here I have Ice Nova, just because I really haven't thought it through anything. It fit there, so some extra damage. But the more important one is Warlord's Mark. And then Phase Run, also kind of meh, so the whole 4-link is kind of meh, but you might avoid a hit or two, and you might get some movement speed. You could literally just have gloves with no sockets, or even a one-socket chest or something. In my helmet, I have my auras. I'm currently using Clarity, Discipline, Herald of Ice. Oh, and Herald of Thunder. Where are you? There we go, Herald of Thunder. I'm also leveling Anger. I'm not using it currently, but I could take out both Heralds and go Anger instead. The damage is basically the same, but you save a socket. But I thought I'd level it because I might switch to it later. In my chest, I have Summon Chaos Golem with Minion Life and Minion and Totem Elemental Resistance. That's a mouthful to say. And along there we have Herald of Thunder, but it's just a 3-link. And here we have my Curse, and down here Flame Dash with faster casting and increased duration, which is more for Vol Discipline. So Vol Discipline is faster casting and increased duration, and Flame Dash. Well, it does benefit from both, but of course the increased duration is pretty whatever. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you're excited to try out Whispering Ice. Buy one now.